It is March 8th, 2019. Friday, the week after we returned from Disney. It's been a while since I've recorded anything. I think the last one I recorded was February 24th, and that was like 2 days before we left, I think. It doesn't matter. Either way, so a lot has happened. We went to Disney. We left on the 25th to go down to Marion. The 26th, we actually drove to Florida, and we went to Disney from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Came back Saturday afternoon, got home about 10:30, and then on Sunday we actually drove back to Greenville. And it was the oddest thing. I'm not going to go into all that because we're going to be posting all of that in a different vlog type setting that we're doing, the Doofs in Disney. However, that last day we were there, it started out, I woke up, I just had like postnasal drip, and you can hear me right now. This is a week later. Tomorrow will be Saturday, a week after we got back. And, at first I thought it was just postnasal drip, just because, the room cold, the outside's hot, and it's just the different atmosphere is just messing with my system, and being in a different climate and state and stuff. But I woke up after I got moving around and cleared everything out. I was fine. We walked around downtown Disney. We went to the chicken guy, and then walked around downtown Disney. Saw Jill before we left. Got in the car about 2:30 and started driving home. And about 4 hours in, so that's about halfway back home, I started feeling not good. I started getting cold, and I'd used the bathroom, and I was getting the chills. I was not feeling good. And I thought that the in-laws in the back seat were having the same issue, because I heard sniffling and coughing and stuff like that, because I started to sniffle and cough, and this was getting a little scratchy. But apparently not. So I'm sitting in the front seat, and I'm just trying to keep myself warm, and I'm just shaking. And when we got home, man, I got in the bed, and I stayed in the bed. And I felt achy. If you touched me, it hurt. If I moved, it hurt. And I was like, I don't know what I have. But everybody's like, oh, you probably have the flu. And I'm just like, where did you get the flu from? But the next day, I stayed in bed until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And when I finally got up, I was pretty much fine. I wasn't achy anymore. I was a little bit, just from sitting in the same position in the bed for 13 hours. But other than just bed soreness, I was fine. I ate, never had a problem with that. Then I got home, and it just kind of all started to go downhill from there. So come Monday, and now I'm stuffy, or I'm getting stuffier. At first, it was just my nose was running and stuff like that. And I think over the course of the week, I actually got a sinus infection just from and blowing my nose. But I never outside before we left Marion, there was pollen everywhere. It's everything had just bloomed while we were gone. So I think I'm getting, and up here too, I think I'm getting allergies on top of whatever I had. My throat, it hurts when I swallow. Once I get going during the day, I've been doping myself up with this medicine, and I hate taking medicine. My liver and my kidneys are probably dude, what is going on? You've been eating almost nothing, and all you've been throwing at us is medicine. And this is on top of whenever I was at Disney, my tooth, so I was taking the pain medicine periodically, and that was a high dose of ibuprofen. I have kidney and liver failure before I get my tooth fixed, and all of this goes away. Anyway, so now it's Friday, and I think I've kind of gotten it under control. I still have a lot of antibiotics left from my tooth that he gave me just as a precaution. It's amoxicillin, so it's a low dose week thing. But however, I think I ended up getting a sinus infection, and I know you're not supposed to medicate yourself when it comes to stuff like that, but I had the antibiotics that I was prescribed. So, and I had stopped taking them last week after taking them for an entire week, and just in case for the tooth. And I was like, well, I'm going to try to take them and see if, and I'm going to take them till that bottle's empty, because I honestly think I have a mild sinus infection, because it's not really yellow, it's not really green, it's just constant, and it just feels not good. So anyway, I took some last night, I took some this morning, and along with my regular medicine, and now I feel better. So I'm going to keep on taking those antibiotics until that jar's empty, and hopefully all will be good. Hopefully I'm not doing the wrong thing. But, so anyway, that is where I'm at right now. Now, on vacation, we got our annual passes. Again, that's going to go on a different vlog. We were able to go the first night we were there, the second night, third night, fourth night, fifth night. So we went to the parks more than the tickets we had bought, which was nice. And we got the pictures, which was nice. And we're going, talk about that in a second. So, I guess we'll talk about it now. We get back and Tia's like, well, we need to start scheduling our next vacation. So the other day, I believe it was, today's Friday, I believe that was Tuesday or Wednesday, Tia was asking me about going near my birthday or whatever, and we were looking at prices, and it was like $98 to stay at one of the All-Star resorts. And after some research, we figured out which All-Star resorts had been renovated, and it was movies in the Love Bug section and the Toy Story section, Toy Story being the expensive ones and the Love Bug section being the standard ones. So, we were going to go back the next day and do it, and all of the annual pass holder rooms had already been booked. So we went for a slightly more expensive regular package that they had, and it was like $106 to $114 per room, depending on the night. And we're staying the 28th, 29th, 30th, my birthday, and then coming back on the 1st of May. And then we'll talk about going later in the year after that. So we've already booked it. We've already made our first payment, and for some reason they're sending us more magic bands, even though we didn't get any tickets. I guess that's how all these annual pass holders have all these magic bands laying around, because no matter what they do, they get a magic band. So we have already scheduled our next date, which is going to be my birthday. So I get to be there on my birthday. And then we're going to look at doing Tia's birthday. And we found out that Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World will be opening the day before her birthday. So let's see if we can find any rooms whatsoever. All right, what do I got now? We're 8 minutes in, and last night, yesterday, I went to Asbury's Church to help the preacher try to get their streaming thing set up. And during the day, I went at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and we did like a sample broadcast. The audio was the issue that he wanted to correct, so I showed him kind of how we could get around that and patch the soundboard in, all that kind of stuff. But we couldn't get up into the sound room, so I came back later that night when the sound guy was there, and we spent about 2.5 hours getting things done. But we did figure out the sound. The only problem is their internet was not working, so we were only getting patchy, spotty sample streams that just weren't working because the speed was just, they get 200 megabits per second, they were only getting a maximum of 8, so that was just not, you can't stream on that. So once they figure out their internet, then I'm gonna go back and see if we can get a real live sample stream going. So that's nice. Saturday night, Tia asked me the other night if I wanted to go to her friend Alicia Foley that used to go to the Move It studio. They're going to have a beer tasting at their house. Apparently they do stuff at their house all the time, and Tia's just never accepted. But she asked me if I wanted to do it, and I was like, I guess, if you want to. Is it at their house? And she said, yeah. And she said she asked Katie, and Katie wasn't invited, but I don't think that was more of a, they didn't invite her. It was they didn't invite her because they didn't think about it. So if Katie says yes, then we're going to go. If Katie says no, then we're probably not, because Tia doesn't want to be there with people she doesn't know. So we may be doing that on Saturday night. We may be not. Hasn't been a whole lot going on other than me being sick. Oh, my car. Oh, and I'll talk about my tooth. My car. I got my part yesterday from 1A Auto, and it was a Ford genuine part. Well, I open up the box, and it's the wrong part. Well, I don't know if that was an accident or intentional by Ford. They said that Ford boxes those things up. So I got, let's see if, oh, how's Dancer's Alley? That's Tia. So I get my part in the mail, and it's the wrong part. So the part number that is on the actual part is different than what's on the box. Again, I don't know if that was Ford saying, hey, this is a newer version that we're putting in the same box that is equivalent to the one in the box, or somebody boxed the wrong thing. I'm looking at that part versus the part that's in my car, and they don't look the same. I mean, they're similar, but they're not the same. And this one is much lighter. There's also a part in the motor that when I do this, it just kind of goes. So I don't like that. So I contacted them, and they're gonna do the research and see if it is compatible, if it's different, if whatever, before I put that in my car. Hopefully I'm gonna hear from them today. I'm just gonna check my email now to see if they sent me anything, because they were supposed to call me, but they said it could take up to 24 hours, which means it might be tomorrow. Checking my email. I don't see anything coming in. Oh, wait. Nope. Nope. Nothing yet. So, but anyway, okay. So my car's still not fixed. However, yesterday I had no issues from it. I was driving it around all day yesterday, all over Greenville, all through Fountain Inn, had no issues with it. So maybe temperature is going to play a part or play a role in how often I have to turn it off and on and off and on, because throughout the week when it was colder, every few miles, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, because that little orange stuff kept popping up. So my tooth. All during vacation, my tooth hurt. I would accidentally eat on that side, and I would have to just stop as a tear rolled down my face, and I was like, ow. And we're talking biting down on something as simple as a soft tortilla shell or bread. Like nothing even hard. It's just the mass difference between my teeth. So I went to Dr. Donovan. I had an appointment set for when I got back on Tuesday. And I went in there, and he said, so how are things? And I said, not one bit different. I said, I actually lost 5 pounds on vacation because I couldn't eat. I mean, I couldn't eat normally. I mean, I'd take a bite and I'd be like, to make sure I eat on this side. I was like, because if anything got over here, even the smallest thing, it would make my eyes water, and I just stop. And he put the stuff on it, the desensitizing stuff, just to do it. And he said, well, I'm going to go ahead and just schedule you for a date. March 18th is my date. And he said, if it stops hurting, call me and I will cancel the appointment. If it doesn't stop hurting, come in. We're going to tear that filling out, and he's going to do there's like some buffer or filter or something like that he'll put underneath the filling to put it on. And he said that should take care of everything. And he was like, I don't know why it hurts. It clearly does. I'm not saying you're lying or you're imagining it. It's not going away. And I said, no, it's not. It's not that it's a constant pain. As long as I don't eat and press up on it. Like if I put my finger in my mouth and I crunch down on my finger lightly, not crunch, that mass difference hurts like I'm eating food. If I just touch it, there's clearly some sensitivity. Like I just touch it, hurts when I floss, because it's all that area that he fixed. So he was like, I'm going to take it out, I'm going to fix it, and hopefully you won't have any issues. Well, I accidentally ate one bite on that side. I didn't crunch the whole way down, but I closed my mouth and I was like, oh, that was close. Because I felt it just from touching it. I felt it. And I was like, I've been wanting to test it out all day and all yesterday because it hasn't been hurting because I've always been eating on this side. And I was like, well, maybe it's desensitizing. It's not. It still hurts. I think I'm just learning how to eat more on this side. But I swear the right side of my mouth doesn't even remember what food tastes like. It's so weird because like this one's getting all desensitized to everything, and this one over here, if anything gets on that side, I'm like, that tastes different. But anyway, so hopefully I'm going to feel better in the next couple days. Hopefully on March 18th, he's going to get this tooth fixed so it doesn't hurt anymore. And that is all I have to say for now. And let's fade out with some TARDIS music.